coming into this game with an overall record of 17 wins and 0 losses. First, we have sophomore number 5, Zach Olugandi.
And welcome back inside the Collins Arena. Brian Gautzer, Tim Kettlefamo back here with you as we get set for the second game of our doubleheader this evening. Jersey Blues and the Rowan Roadrunners. While Brookdale has played 17 games, they have won every one of them. And just today, the latest poll has named the Jersey Blues the #1 team in the country for for Division III basketball. So a great accomplishment for them. This game, though, Tim, one of those games in the region that could give them a challenge because the Rowan Roadrunners come in at 19-3, and they know they can compete with Brookdale on the floor.
Yeah, this is a battle between the two best teams right now in the Region 19 Conference. Obviously, Brookdale undefeated, but Rowan, you can't sleep on them. They're the second-ranked team in the conference, and they're not a bad team themselves. 14-2 in Region 19 play, 19-3 overall. Now, the interesting thing about this game is the last time that Brookdale played them, they beat them by 40 points earlier on in the year at Rowan. However, I think that game's a little bit artificial because early on in the season, sometimes you don't have everything set. Sometimes you're still trying to get into a rhythm. I think this is a totally different Rowan team than what we saw earlier on in the year. So I expect this game to be close early on, but really, in all fairness, Brookdale has really been able to control players very easily with really no problem. So I don't think there's going to be any problem early on for Brookdale if they can continue to start strong offensively.
And we're underway, and just like that, it's Tariq Holmes who puts the first points on the board. Brookdale's starting lineup, it's Olakani, Good, Moore, Holmes, and Ringel. Ball knocked out of bounds by Holmes, and he is one of those players who's just all over the place. He's only played a few games, but his presence has been felt.
Yeah, Tariq Holmes averages 4.8 steals a game. He's someone who's got really quick hands. You're going to see that a lot tonight.
Offensive foul. It's John Havilow, who's making his first appearance of the season, and he's guilty for the personal team foul #1 Brookdale possession. So the Jersey Blues come off a 106-76 beatdown of Passaic. That was on Saturday. Not here on Brookdale TV, but we're back with you for this one. Missed by Ringel is picked up defensively by McPherson. And now McPherson aggressively, Holmes trying to come up with the steal, but it's knocked away.
Yeah, and you mentioned that game against Passaic. Brookdale ended up winning that game 106-76, as you said, but they were down by 2 at halftime. And we talked to Coach Chuzak before the game, and we asked him about that. He said the team just didn't play defense in the first half. So that was the reason why Passaic was able to hang around. Second half, obviously, they cleaned that up.
Ruggiano misses with the left hand, back the other way, Moore. Jameek returning after missing the last game, dealing with a knee ailment, but good to go in the starting lineup tonight. 1 minute gone by as Brookdale takes their time. The cutter is good, and it's a turnover. Ruggiano may have gotten away with an extra step. Havilow launches. Offensive rebound, Ruggiano. Back out for another 3 on the way. McPherson can't connect. Moore battling with Ruggiano. Possession arrow favors Rowan.
And if you're Rowan here, you want to stick with Brookdale early on in the game. You do not want to allow the Brookdale Jersey Blues to get out to an early lead. That's something that they've been able to do a lot against teams that we have seen in this arena. So if you're Rowan, you want to hang with Brookdale. You want to get some points on the board and not allow them to get out to a 15, 20-point lead before the end of the half.
McPherson for 3. He knocks it down. Naquan McPherson from behind the line. He gives the Roadrunners a 1-point edge. Now Good slips into the paint, can't finish it. Good on the second try, won't go. Holmes takes it away for the offensive rebound, then he's fouled. As they're going to get Chris Lyons. So it'll be team foul #2 against Rowan. Brookdale inbound underneath. Moore takes a quick catch and shoot. Buries a 3-pointer.
And remember, Jameek Moore was out in the last game that Brookdale played against Passaic. He's been battling a knee injury really all season. Had some inflammation, was not able to play, but now he's been rested. He's back in the game, and Brookdale certainly needed that.
McPherson short. Ringo couldn't catch it. Holmes does. Holmes pushing quickly. Finds Olakani as it blocked. The defensive play by Chris Lyons. As he would have none of that underneath the basket. Brookdale possession underneath.
And how about the no-look pass there by Tariq Holmes coming up the floor? Looked off the defenders and almost was able to get Olakani an easy 2 underneath the basket.
Moore tries another 3. 2 for 2 in the early going. Jameek Moore, a good start. Brookdale by 5. (8-3) Jersey Blues. Havelo takes it near midcourt. And getting free underneath is Rasheen Merlin, who finishes. Now, good thought about it, and he's called for a travel. So possession turns back over to Rowan. This is the matchup of teams that are ranked number 1, of course, at Brookdale, and the Roadrunners at number 3. The only team sandwiched in between is Northampton, who we know is a good opponent, plays out in Pennsylvania. Rowan making the trip up from South Jersey. Shot clock at 15. Ruggiano gives it up. And the 3 is off the mark by Lyons. Here comes Holmes. Moore, can he make another? Not that time. Ringel. He'll stay with Brookdale as he was battling for possession there with McPherson.
And remember, just to go back to your point that you made a second ago with Brookdale being 1 and Rowan being 3. That's for the Region 19 Conference. That's not nationally. Brookdale's also number 1 nationally in the NJCAA.
Holmes fires away. Ringel fights it back up and scores. And Matt Ringel has had such a consistent season this year. Does a lot more than just score. He rebounds, he blocks shots, he defends. It's 10-5 Jersey Blues. The steal by Holmes. Olakani flying to the basket, but he blew the dunk. And Paul Chizek is roaring on the sideline.
Yeah, and that's a situation. I know you want to go for the dunk and try to get the crowd into it, but particularly when you have a couple players around you, it's sometimes just easier just to go for the layup because you know at least if you get it off the glass, that's going to go in. It's so hard when you're running up the floor with kind of a bang-bang play such as that one was to try to adjust and throw the ball down with 2 hands.
Lyons on the drive. Nice shot as he switched hands, banked it in with the right hand. Here comes good. Pull-up jump. Won't go. Long rebound out to Ruggiano. Running start with it. Find Lyons out on the perimeter.
Oof,
and that is foul. An offensive foul as taking the hit was Grant Good down low. And it's interesting going back to talking about Olakani, who missed the dunk, that there was some indecision as to who would start in that 5th spot for Brookdale, whether it would be Olakani or Kyle Bradshaw, who's been playing very well. They opt for Olakani. Paul Chizek was like, as soon as he has a misstep, he's coming out. Well, he's still in for now. We'll see how much longer. Here he takes a jump shot. And it's a loose ball foul underneath. Looks like it's on Rowan.
Yeah, there was some disparity among the coaching staff as to how the Brookdale starting lineup should look like. And you said it, both players, both Olakani and Kyle Bradshaw have played exceptionally well. So tough to sometimes make a decision on that. Olakani did get the start, but we have seen, to be fair, Kyle Bradshaw play extremely well coming off of the bench the last several games. So I think that was part of the reason why Olakani will start. And when Olakani is ready to be relieved, Kyle Bradshaw will most likely come in for him.
So it's Grant Good to the line, and Bradshaw comes off a 20-point game in the win over Passaic on Saturday. Grant Good has been a steady performer, first-year Jersey Blue. He, along with Jameek Moore, the 2 leading scorers for the Jersey Blues. Second try, and he splits a pair. We didn't give you our officiating crew tonight. It is Tom Fitzgerald, DeJuan Jones, and Owen Lucky calling the signals. 11-7 Brookdale. Find the open man. It's Ruggiano. Short. Offensive rebound, though, comes out for Rasheen Merlin, and he makes it count. Now Moore gets to the basket, and he's called for a travel before the shot. I think he thought he was hit. The Jersey Blues turn it over at the 15:06 mark, first half. Rowan overall 19-3 for the season, and undefeated on the road, a perfect 8-0. Driving baseline lines, a lot of contact fouls called.
And Tariq Holmes tried to slide over and fill that gap that Ringel had there along the low block when he was trying to come out and meet Lyons, and unfortunately gets the personal.
They call it in the act of shooting, so Chris Lyons, freshman for these Roadrunners, to the line.
Yeah, leading scorer there for the Roadrunners, 16 points a game, 7.5 rebounds, 2.5 blocks. Really can do it all, both on both sides of the ball. So someone Brookdale's going to have to keep an extra body on at all times tonight.
Olakani able to corral the rebound. Brookdale sets up by 1. Pitch and catch along the perimeter. Ringel's the open man. Moore fakes. Shot clock down to 6. Moore, that's a bomb. Oh, we've got it. From way downtown, Jameek Moore is feeling it in the early going. McPherson gives it up. Ruggiano fires away. That won't go. It's too strong. Then Moore bumps into Lyons. A foul is called, but it's going Brookdale's way.
And you talked about Jameek Moore from behind the three-point line, shooting 46% this year. That's almost 50% every time he takes a shot from behind the arc.
Wide open look for good. You bet it's a 3. Timeout Rowan, and they need it. Brookdale, a hot start from three-point range to start, led by Moore. Now Good chips in, and another terrific offensive start. We will take a break with 6 minutes gone by and Brookdale up 7.
Every journey we take in this life starts with a single step. My journey at Brookdale started with that step.
We are all starting a new adventure. Thank you for helping me get my start at Brookdale.
Teaching is all about encouraging a passion.
We are from many countries. We have many things in common.
Back inside the Collins Arena, 6 minutes having been played. Brookdale playing the way they have all season in
I believe that
terms of the
education
high
is
shooting
empowering.
numbers and the offensive prowess. So we talked about
Brookdale
them being
is number
ranked
one. We will always be
in the
number one.
country. In scoring, they're number 6, and they're showing why.
Certainly have gotten off to a good start.
Brookdale
As I said a moment
is the
ago,
best community college, the finest community college in the entire state of New Jersey.
Incredible runs and quickly jump out to 15, 20-point leads. So if you're Rowan, you got to stick with the team that is number 1 in the country right now, which is a tall order, but certainly that's what Rowan's got to do, particularly in the first half.
Shot clock winding down. Deontay Rowland is in, down to 2. They got to put it up, and they called a... What did they call?
Shot clock violation.
The clock didn't appear to expire. I thought they called a foul there. There was still 2 seconds left before the whistle blew. Nonetheless, Brookdale will take over. And they have Moore, Holmes, Ringel, Good, and Bradshaw. The one substitution as he checked in for Olakani. Good. 3 on the way. It's good. Jersey Blues doubling up on the Roadrunners, 20-10. Wide open, Rowan fires away. Offensive rebound underneath, Merlin. And he takes it off the third chance and tips it home. Now Moore to the basket this time. Tried from an impossible angle. Floated ahead for...
Ooh, that's a walk.
Lyons, he's called for a travel.
Yeah, Rowan trying to run with Brookdale. We know how much Brookdale likes to run, particularly when they get a rebound on defense. They'll push the ball at the floor. Rowan trying to do the same, but their offense just is not built to handle that. So that's why you saw that turnover there on Lyons.
Bradshaw can't connect. Ruggiano on the rebound. Rowan in transition. Blocked by Ringel. Terrific transition defense. And Ringel made sure not to commit the foul. Got the clean block. Roadrunners inbound underneath. It's McPherson. And a jumper on the way. It's good for Chris Lyons. He's got good size to shoot that jumper. As what a shot by Holmes. An acrobatic finish going to the basket. Jersey Blue lead is 8. Lyons from the corner. Won't go, and Moore the rebound. Moore finds Good. I think he was hoping for Bradshaw. It's taken away. Throw it ahead, Ruggiano. Nice pass, Ringel, another block, and he has it. Now 2-on-1 this way with Holmes challenging the defender. And it's scooped up by Rowland. Deontay Rowland moves ahead. He scoops it up and gets the roll.
Yeah, Rollins, I think, wanted to stop in the paint, but realized he had taken too many steps already, so had to put it up and somehow able to get that wild shot to go.
Some wild shots on both ends. Approach 11 minutes remaining first half. Brookdale leads by 6. Good. Nice move. Can't finish with the right hand. It's rebounded by Merlin. McPherson pops a long jumper, and they call it a 2. Timeout Brookdale, as Paul Chizek not happy with his defense. He's seen a lead that was once 10, all down to 4 with 10:48 to go first half. Jersey Blues basketball outside the timeout. Really the story so far is Brookdale's making their 3-pointers, led by Moore and Good.
Yeah, but give credit to Rowan. I mean, obviously they're down by 4 halfway through the first half. This is kind of the critical point, because usually around this time is where Brookdale goes on their run. So for Rowan, this is a very important couple of minutes.
Way off the mark that time. Earl Clark is checked in. He handles. Handed off McPherson. Frez Cabrera's checked in on the Brookdale side. Cutting baseline is Lyons. He misses on the reverse. Moore able to corral the pass. Find Cabrera. Missed the shot inside. Clark battling for it. Able to spin out of a crowd. Lyons ahead of the floor. Alley-oop try, he throws it down. Chris Lyons with authority. A nice execution on that fast break from Rowan. More the spin, drop it off Ringel, off the glass, it's good.
Yeah, and Ringel had a big game the last time against Passaic. 22 points, 12 rebounds, a double-double.
Steal for good, it's a 2-on-1 break, only Rowan defending, he does a good job. He commits the foul and he's very upset. It looked like pretty good transition defense, but the foul is called, it's team foul number 6. Did you see enough contact there?
A little bit. I think it's a good call by the officials. Certainly Roland was going for the ball, but kind of grabbed Grant Good's arm as he was coming down. So I think it's a good call by the officials.
72% shooter is good. As he misses on the first one, Moore checks out.
But for Rowan, it's his third personal foul, as you said, Brian. So that's certainly a big blow because one of the better players on this team, one of the sophomore leaders, that's now going to have to come out of the game early on in the first half.
1 out of 2 from the line. Here comes Olakani. Good will check out for the time being. Jersey Blues up by 5.
Ooh, dangerous inbounds pass.
Roadrunners are winners of their last 3 games in a row, and that's an offensive foul. It's on Earl Clark barreling into Ringel.
And I think that's the third charge that Matt Ringel has taken in this game. Just incredibly patient on defense, not moving, not getting flustered when you got a defender coming right at you, which is hard to do. Your instinct tells you to get out of the way, but you just got to stand firm. That's, I believe, the third charge he's taken.
Turnover as Holmes' pass misses the mark. The fouls have piled up in this first half for Rowan. They've committed 7 of them. Brookdale's done a good job keeping that total down. Just 1 so far for Paul Chizek's group. Here's Lyons challenged by Ringel, and this time a foul is called. So this will be the second team foul. And for Matt Ringel, it will be personal number 1. Chris Lyons, 66% free throw shooter. He averages 16 points a game for the year. It's interesting with Rowan that you look at their season stats. They've had so many different players come in and out of the lineup at one time or another, but the group they have available tonight is not a very deep one.
No, it hasn't been, and that's one of the reasons why I said earlier on in the broadcast, I think that 40-point blowout that they had against Brookdale, where they lost 101-61 earlier in the year, was, I think, a little bit artificial, because I think now, while they don't have a very deep bench, I think now they have the players that they feel most comfortable with. So, and obviously tonight, so far, it's a closer game than that.
Olakani drills a corner 3. Bradshaw watching Lyons. Screen comes, doesn't do much. Lyons draws a double team. Ruggiano catch and shoot. And Bradshaw the rebound. Holmes looking up the floor. Holmes all the way to the basket. Running layup is good with the left hand.
And just look at how quickly Holmes can get up the floor. That's extremely hard to defend. Just lightning speed.
And impressive because he can move that fast with the ball in his hands. As the answer from McPherson, it's a triple. Holmes slows it down. Find Ringel, nice pick and roll action, had it blocked on the inside, and Lyons rips it away. McPherson again, he's fouled. And so McPherson will shoot 3 free throws. That's one of those things that drives Paul Chizek crazy about Olakani. He's very talented. There's many things he can do well on the court, but there's also those head-scratching times that it can't seem to take away.
Well, certainly that's not a great foul by Olakani, but I think Coach Chizek's more upset about the fact that McPherson, I think, fell down on his own. I mean, Zach certainly hit him, but it wasn't like it was anything that was that hard to knock him down to the floor. So I think maybe McPherson may have did a tiny bit of an acting job there after he had a little bit of contact from Olakani, but still, not a great foul by Olakani, regardless of whether or not the player falls down. You got to not be anywhere in the vicinity so the officials has any doubt as to whether or not to blow the whistle.
It's a 2-point game. Good pump fake. Good after the jab step. Gets inside, count the basket, and one.
Nice patience there by Good. Just taking it to the hoop, not forcing anything, taking that stop right in that low block. And once you take that stop and you get the defender in the air, you've won at that point. All you got to do is go into him, time it right so you can get a nice shot off, and that's exactly what Grant Good did.
Foul's on Lyons. It's his second. Good makes good at the line as he gets the bounce. 3-point play.
Yeah, Brookdale as a team shooting 72% as a whole from the foul line. That's an extremely good average.
Yeah, and you look at their shooting numbers just from the floor, from 3-point range, and from the free throw line. All are pretty top-notch marks. As Clark is fouled.
I guess that's the reason why they're number one in the country, I guess.
So I think it's the biggest difference from last year's team. I mean, it was a really good team last year. Certainly the depth is something that stood out, but they just didn't quite have the offensive punch that they have this year.
Well, they were good offensively last year, but as you said, I just didn't think that they had enough depth. The thing with this team is they have so many players that can score at any moment, so that when one player comes out, the players that come in to sub for them really just pick up right where they left off.
Olakani can't finish it. McPherson fires away, it's short, and Bradshaw elevates for the rebound. Now Cabrera determined to take it to the rim, but he missed the shot. Clark on the rebound. And we'll get a timeout taken by head coach Chris Martin and the Roadrunners. So we'll step aside at 6:52 remain. And we're back. Brian Goudsward, Tim Kettle-Famo, the rest of our Brookdale TV crew here tonight. Jersey Blues basketball sponsored by Joyce's Subs and Pizza, located at 655 Newman Springs Road and Lincroft. Online at joycesubsandpizza.com.
Yeah, right across the street, actually. Very close.
So after you're done tuning in, it might be a little late, but then you can get your late night pizza.
Let me see if I can find the hours in this place. We'll see.
Brookdale up by 5. This Lyons backs his way against Good. Strip, but a foul. And Paul Chizek very upset at that one. Looked like a clean strip, but the officials call the foul. It's team foul number 5, assessed to the Jersey Blues.
And the other thing that's frustrating about that foul is it was late in the shot clock. Shot clock was down to 7, so that's something you don't want to do, regardless of whether it's a good call by the official or not, is foul late in the shot clock.
It's Clark. Clark hanging in the air. Can't bank it home on the offensive rebound. And we'll stay with the Roadrunners. Rasheem Merlin is tough to block out under the basket. The 6'9" sophomore. One of the true centers. Officials making sure possession with Rowan. Clark inbounds. It's McPherson, swing it, Ruggiano, feed the post down low and a foul. It's Bradshaw. Denying Merlin.
Yeah, now that's a second now on Kyle Bradshaw, so he's probably going to have to come out of the game.
Now Rasheem Merlin, as you often see among centers, big guys, not the best of free throw shooters, just 49%. Ringo comes back in. You can sense the intensity level in this game, though. It's It's a good matchup. Two good teams going at it. Of course, Brookdale trying to keep up this incredible undefeated run.
Yeah, and the Brookdale bench is arguing that Merlin wasn't in the act of shooting. Brookdale's only got 16 fouls, so that's not even a 1-and-1. So I'm just as confused. That's what the bench was screaming, and I have to agree. I'm not sure if Merlin was really supposed to shoot 2 foul shots there.
Now Jameek Moore goes to work. Misses. Ringle's there for the tip.
Oof.
And nearly losing it is McPherson. And he throws it away as Clark can't get to it. Kenny LaRocca is in for the first time. So Brookdale has LaRocca, Moore, Holmes, Ringle, and Good. They're up by 5. Now Moore on the isolation. Backs down his man Ruggiano. Fadeaway jumper. And the rebound claimed by Lyons.
Whoa.
Clark circling. Ringle tips the pass. Another not so great pass. LaRocca picks it up. Now LaRocca gave it up for some reason, but Good is able to make it count. LaRocca probably could have taken it himself, but threw a backwards pass. McPherson is hammered that time by Ringle.
Yeah, I mean, that's clearly a foul on Ringle. But, yeah, there is such a thing as being sometimes too unselfish with the basketball. Kenny LaRocca had a very nice look at that hoop, was able to turn around and get it to Grant Good, who was able to finish. But, yeah, you gotta take that shot sometimes. You got a nice shot, you made a nice play, go ahead, take that shot sometimes.
McPherson shoots it well, 80%. For the freshman out of Turnersville, New Jersey. So Ringle has 2 personals. He goes to the bench. Lampley checks in.
And Denzel Lampley is actually playing against his old team. Remember, he was a Roadrunner last season, so knows several of the players on the team. I asked him before the game, I said, you want to beat these guys, right? Of course. He said, well, yeah, of course, but these are some of my old teammates.
37-32. Lampley gets a touch. Bounce it out to the corner. Holmes the floater, it goes. Now Ruggiano drawing some contact. He scores and is fouled by LaRocca. So for Victor Ruggiano, a chance to make it a 3-point play.
Yeah, and you have to give credit for Rowan. I mean, they are not going away. Every time Brookdale gets on what appears to be a little bit of a run, Rowan's able to answer right back. So they're sticking with Brookdale, which is something that we haven't really seen too much of in this Collins Arena this year.
Well, one thing is clear. It doesn't appear this game is going to resemble the one these two teams played back in November when Brookdale ran them out of the building. Lampley short. McPherson touched it last out of bounds. He couldn't corral the rebound. Brookdale will get another opportunity.
Well, it's not a blowout yet. Remember the last game that Brookdale played against Passaic? They were down by 2 at halftime. They ended up winning that game by 30 points. So sometimes teams think that they have Brookdale covered, and in the second half just don't come out of the locker room very good.
And Brookdale will get the chance to inbound again. Good missed the shot, but again, Rowan can't get the rebound. Now LaRocca, 3 on the way. It's good.
Yeah, LaRocca finally shot that ball. All his teammates wanted him to shoot, finally did. Like I said, sometimes you can be a little bit too unselfish with the ball.
Ruggiano into the paint as Moore gets knocked to the floor, and it's an offensive foul.
And how about the charges that the Brookdale players have taken in this game? We talked about Ringle drawing a couple of charges. Now Jameek Moore has a couple as well. So Brookdale not afraid to step in front of the guy who's got the ball and be aggressive, take a chance on defense.
Lampley sets the screen. Now Holmes delays, fades away, off the rim, no. Rebound Merlin. Floated ahead Lyons. Lyons saves it for Ruggiano, and he banks it in. Good recovery there by Lyons after the pass went over his head. Come up on 3 minutes left, first half. Moore backs his way in against Ruggiano. Lampley from the outside, too strong. And it's tipped over to Ruggiano. It's a 2-on-1 break. Lyons traveled.
And Jameek Moore is limping a little bit, Brian. He's going to the bench.
Not a good sign for a guy who missed the last game with a knee ailment. Was pronounced good enough to go to start this game, but he's in some discomfort as he heads for the sideline. It's Jordan Hernandez in to replace him. Good defender in the air. It's way short. Ruggiano claims it. Havelo from the elbow. And the putback is good. That was too easy for Rasheem Merlin. And the Jersey Blues just don't have the size to compete with him for rebounds. Back the other way, the Roadrunners.
Oof.
And an offensive foul. It's Lyons this time. And you said it, and we've seen Brookdale draw a number of charging calls in the first half.
Yeah, and I don't know about that call. I mean, I know LaRocca was there, and Lyons kind of leaned into him, but LaRocca really wasn't set. So that I'm a little bit questionable on. But yes, certainly Brookdale not afraid to take those charges.
Now Grant good on the drive. Yes, and one. As he used his right hand, chance to add one more at the line. Earl Clark substitution as he replaces Lyons. It's the third personal foul charge to John Havelo. It's team foul number 10. And it's number 10, Grant Good, looking to put one more on the board. And he does. Oh, good sign here. Jameek Moore back in at least. He came halfway in. Now he fully comes in.
Forgot to touch the table. You always got to touch. For some reason, I don't know why. You always got to touch that table before you come in. I never understood that rule, but Tom Fitzgerald, there, the head official, making sure he did.
Jersey Blues by 6. Havelo's cut off in the corner. Good ball movement. McPherson is short from 3. McPherson follows it up and draws the foul. So he'll go to the line. There have been a total of 19 fouls in this first half. So McPherson, 80% shooter. Havelo's in foul trouble. He comes out of the game, replaced by Rowland. And it's a 4-point game. Minute and a half to go in this first half. It's Hernandez. He drives out to Holmes. Whip it inside. Was too hot to handle. Now Rowan a chance to get closer before this half expires. Extra pass, Ruggiano won't go. Tipped out to the top of the key where Clark gets to it. Ruggiano doesn't take it. Clark back out Ruggiano, feed it down low, and Merlin missed it on the inside. And then there's a foul called. The jump ball called. And the possession arrow who's going to have the basketball. It's going Brookdale's way, it appears.
Yeah, nice 2 offensive possessions there for Rowan. Just couldn't finish at the rim. Had both of their shots just not go down, but did everything but score.
There's Lampley, and he drills a jumper. So Lampley cashes in against his former team. 3-second difference shot in game clock. Intercepted by Holmes. Clear path to the basket. Lays it in. He is awfully dangerous in the open floor. Gets his hands on the basketball. Down to 5 seconds left. McPherson forces it up. Fielded out of the air by Clark. Taken away Lampley. They won't get a shot away as the first half comes to a close. And Brookdale closes on a little bit of a run. This was close for just about the whole way between these 2 good teams ranked number 1 Brookdale. Brookdale, of course, ranked number 1 in all of the nation. And Rowan ranked number 3. And after 20 minutes of basketball here tonight, it's Brookdale 49, Rowan 41. And this game, I think, is following the script much more than we expected. We kind of talked about it going in. The first time these 2 teams played, those were far different circumstances. Teams looked a lot different. Well, a lot has changed. Now this looks like 2 good teams going head-to-head, and I think that's what we've seen so far.
Yeah, I think Rowan finally got themselves together, and early on in the season, I don't think they had that. But Brookdale certainly not in any way slowing down. This is exactly the way they started off the year. I just think Rowan has played a little bit more as a team and has played a little bit better. However, you said it right at the end of the first half. Brookdale's kind of gone on a run here. And if I'm Rowan, if I'm head coach Chris Martin, I'm a little bit nervous right now because Brookdale has some momentum going into the half. And we talked about it in the last game against Passaic where Brookdale was down by 2 at halftime. They ended up blowing Passaic out by 30 points in the second half. So sometimes, even in the first half, Brookdale can still turn it on even more so in the second. So this game's not over by any means, but certainly if I'm Rowan College right now, I'm a little bit nervous, being the fact that not only does Brookdale have an 8-point lead, but they have in past games really turned on the Jets in the second half.
So it's an 8-point game at the break, 49-41. We'll step aside for halftime. Come back second half after the break. And he drops in the first attempt. And Tim, anything that stood out to you about the first half of action?
Well, certainly, of course, Brookdale just playing really well offensively, but Rowan's been hanging around. Like I said, don't count Rowan out of this game just yet.
As McPherson aggressively to the basket, will get free throws. So, foul called on each side. Paul Chizek is a bit exasperated as he sits in his seat. And he's exasperated because Matt Ringel just picked up his 3rd personal. Bradshaw checks in, so that's a big foul because he's in foul trouble and is obviously one of the key players to this team, and now he's forced to watch from the bench. Start the half with Moore, Holmes, Good, Olakani, and Bradshaw, and that's Good who gets the roll. So a little bit of a different lineup. They didn't know whether they wanted to start Olakani or Bradshaw, so they come out in this half and just start both of them. McPherson launches off the side of the rim, tipped, and taking the rebound to Holmes. Move it ahead, Olakani. Olakani floats it up and in. And just like that, it's a 13-point lead. And we're going to get a timeout just 1 minute into this second half. Brookdale 55, Rowan 42. We'll take a quick break here on Brookdale TV. We'll return after this.
Hi, my name is Richard Brunson, the head coach here at Brookdale Women's Basketball. And I'm going to talk to you about my team a little bit. So far, we have an 8-2 record, which probably complements our defense. Defense is probably the key to our winning. We go up and down the floor, but most importantly, we stress defense. And in our conference, it's really a lot of good teams. You have the Gloucesters, you have the Camdens, and you have the Middlesex, who's our biggest rivalry also. So what we try to do is make sure we watch a lot of film to make sure we be prepared to play those teams. Second part of the semester, we lost a couple players, but all in all, the bench players will have to pick up the slack. I think if we improve on our practices.
Brunson on that commercial, and his team in the first game of our doubleheader gave a valiant effort trying to rally from a huge deficit. Certainly made it interesting, did come up short. And now we're in the second half of game number 2, 1 minute into the second half. Rowan possession. And quickly find Merlin, but he missed it. It was a good inbounds pass, but Rowan can't convert. Moore catching fire for 3. That one's well off the mark. Rebound to Havelo. And McPherson sees Good go by. Lions one-on-one with Olakani, uses the screen, hangs in the air, banks it in, and one. What a move that was.
And unfortunately for Kyle Bradshaw, I believe that's his 3rd personal foul, so he's probably going to have to come out of the game. Good call by the officials. Nice patience there by Chris Lyons inside to get Kyle in the air and draw the contact, but Brookdale's starting to run into some foul trouble.
Yeah, Ringgold has 3, and now Bradshaw joins him with 3 personals. He stays in for the moment as the 3-point play is good. Olakani to Bradshaw. Nice passing leads to the good reverse layup. Now Havelo in the post, and he scores.
Yeah, Rowan just being very patient on offense, and they're getting some buckets. They're hanging around with Brookdale right now.
Holmes takes a 3, and it won't go. Rebounded by Ruggiano. Lions bounce it into the paint, and easy position for Merlin for 2.
And not a whole lot Kyle Bradshaw could do.
Stolen away, McPherson, who scores.
Yeah, Kyle Bradshaw was beat on that last possession. Remember, he's got 3 personal fouls, so he can't necessarily commit another foul. And then there on the inbounds pass, just a miscommunication, which led to 2 points.
4 points scored by the Roadrunners in about 5 seconds. Bradshaw from the baseline misses. Good couldn't catch it, and it rolls out to Havelo. Bounce it for Ruggiano. Merlin had it taken away. It's Olakani. One-on-one in the open floor. Holmes missed it up in the air to Ruggiano. Now Havelo. Throw it out to the top of the key. Merlin against Bradshaw, the baby hook, and Olakani the rebound.
Yeah, Brookdale needs a bucket. They've been scoreless the last 2 minutes.
Another turnover. Ruggiano takes it off the deflection. Brookdale's gotten a little sloppy here to start the second half. They've seen the lead shrink. Now Ruggiano for Merlin is double teamed. Moore looking for the basketball, ties him up. And which way will it go?
Yeah, I think they're going to get a timeout there charged to Rowan, but Merlin's lucky he did not travel because he fell down to the floor. That's an automatic walk, so bailout there. Not only was he double teamed, but the shot clock was also starting to wind down. It's at 7.
Yeah, and it looked like there should, I agree with what Brookdale is contending there, that there should have been a jump ball. It looked like that possession was tied up there, but instead they award the timeout to Rowan, so they may have caught a little bit of a break there. So Rowan drawing up a play is They've gotten closer now, down by 6. Got to look at the Brookdale bench. Of course, the Jersey Blues at 17-0 for the season. And they are number 1 in the country. And the last time they were number 1 in all of the nation, it was back on February the 25th of 2014. So about 4 years ago. And they wound up finishing 3rd overall that season. Of course, that was just 1 year following a year where they went 30-1 and won the Nationals.
Yeah, remember, they started number 1 that year by virtue of winning the Nationals, but that was, as you said, Brian, the last time they were ranked number 1. So just kind of surprising when you think of how successful this team has been over the last several years. Even after that season, they've had some good years. But really, this season in particular, undefeated at home, undefeated overall. Really haven't seen a team yet that's given Brookdale too much trouble.
So outside the timeout, it's with the yellow jerseys until Holmes takes it away and flies to the basket, scores.
Yeah, I mentioned that stat at the beginning of the game. Tariq Holmes has 4.5 steals a game. That's his average. And so far in this game, he's had multiple steals.
Ruggiano, pump fake, cross-court pass for Lyons with Moore defending. Now Lyons, foul is called, reaching.
And that might be the 4th on Bradshaw.
I think they got Holmes. Team foul number 3 of the second half. And it's the 2nd on Holmes. Lob it in for Lyons. And it was loose until Merlin got to it. McPherson, the offensive rebound. He's fouled by Moore, who contends that he didn't get enough of him.
In the last couple of possessions, Brookdale's committed some fouls, and they're leaving the door open for Rowan here. I know that you still got a lot of time left, and this is certainly a long game still left to go, but you're leaving the door open for what is arguably the best team besides yourself in the Region 19 Conference right now. You don't want to do this too late in the second half and give Rowan the opportunity to possibly steal one here. So Brookdale's got to clamp down a little bit on defense. Right now, they're just not playing very well, allowing Rowan to get inside the paint, and then when they're there, they're allowing themselves to commit these fouls that are really starting to add up on some key players.
And it's 2 misses at the line. It's good, nice pass, and Bradshaw able to finish. Terrific ball movement on that possession. And it leads to the Bradshaw bucket. Brookdale's up by 10. And Ruggiano, it's loose on the ground. Scramble for it, and what a scoop by Holmes. Olakani to the basket for 2.
How about the effort there by Holmes, but then Olakani able to recover and go 1-on-2 to the hole.
Just past 5 minutes gone in the second half. Ruggiano steps back for 3. Won't go. Loose again, Olakani's got it. The rebounding hasn't always been pretty. That time it worked for Olakani. And that's an offensive foul. It's Holmes. And you see Paul Chizek yelling out to Holmes. Not happy with his technique. This is the second meeting of the season between these two teams. First one very much one-sided. This one closer. As mishandling it is McPherson. He gives it away to Brookdale. LaRocca checks in for Holmes. Now here's the trivia question of the day, which we'll say is sponsored by Joyce's Subs and Pizza.
You put me on the spot, Brian?
Yeah. Brookdale is 17-0, as you know. How many of those games, as we'll see if LaRocca can make this, he doesn't. And it's rebounded by Merlin. How many of the 17 wins do you think have not been decided by double digits?
I think I know the answer to that question. I'm going to let people at home maybe see if they can guess. We need like a ticker or something to go across the bottom of the screen. Remember the Aflac trivia question used to come during football games?
Yep.
That's what we need.
Aflac was always
Cue
the
the doc.
sponsor. This is the Joyce's Subs and Pizza trivia question. It's Rowan inbounds. We'll give you a minute to think about your answer. Ball movement, and it's going the other way. I'm not exactly sure what they called on Roland.
Yeah, I think Rowan fell down on the ground. I think that was a traveling call, but I might be wrong.
I didn't see the signal. It's a throw at a number, out of the 17.
I would say 1.
You were correct.
Ah, see? And I promise I did not cheat.
Top of the key is well off the mark. Long rebound, Roland. Roland to the basket. He glides in and banks it home.
Because, you know, all I got to do is flip this over and look at this season so far.
Yeah, it came on November 30th, 86-82 against Raritan Valley, a game that we did. Olakani catch and shoot.
Wow.
He's got it. It's a 3. And, you know, you talked about it closing out the first half, that so often the first half performances aren't always their best, but the second half, there's something about them coming out and just dominating.
Well, it's almost like they lull the other team to sleep almost, because look, I mean, Brookdale's up by 13 right now, but you really haven't seen too much energy from the bench. It's just been slowly but surely. That's a foul there on Lyons that wasn't called. Now finally is called. But, you know, you see the teams just slowly but surely get up to this 15, 20-point lead. They're at 13 right now, but you don't really see that much energy. You don't see these high-powered plays. You just slowly and quietly see the team build up a 20-point lead. And then the other team, whoever the opponent is, turns around and realizes they're down by 20-plus points.
So Morrill got it set up. He had to leave temporarily in the first half, but it's good enough. And speaking of good, it's Grant Good scoring on the inside. This might be the largest lead of the night now for Brookdale at 15 points. 68-53. It's McPherson just holding. Good zone defense look here. Shot clock is down to 7. To the corner. Roland drives in. He missed it. Moore's got it. Brookdale a chance in transition. Lampley scoots in, and he'll go to the line. Fouled from behind by Ruggiano. So Lampley getting some minutes against his old team. It's obviously a good team he was on, but an opportunity to come to the #1 team in not only the region, but of course the country. And certainly support that decision for him.
Yeah, he told me before the game he knows Deontay Roland very well. He knows Naquan McPherson, Rasheen Merlin, who he says he's very good buddies with. So obviously he wants to win for his team, but you're playing against your old teammates. Sometimes that brings out the worst in you, actually, when you're competing against your old teammates on a different team.
Sophomore from Newark. 1 out of 2 from the line. Does Rowan have a run in them this final 12 minutes? Try to tighten this one up. Roland fakes. Now Ruggiano feed the post in Merlin, and it's taken away by Good. Jimmy Moore, tough shot. Picked up by Merlin. Going behind the back, McPherson all the way to the basket, high off the glass, blocking foul.
And that's a good call by the officials. I know Lampley had his feet set, but he was inside that restricted area. That's always going to be a blocking foul every single time.
Team foul number 7, so Jersey Blues did a good job limiting the fouls early on in the game, then they piled up in a hurry. As McPherson averages just under 16 points a game, gets the roll. This is a Rowan team that has yet to lose a game on the road, a perfect 8-0. But of course, something had to give going into this game, whether it was Brookdale losing for the first time or Rowan dropping for the first time on the road. And so far, it's Brookdale with the upper hand. LaRocca misfires.
Oof.
You know, since that loss to Brookdale, which was back on November 28th, it's been an impressive run for the Roadrunners. Ruggiano for Merlin, he's fouled. They've only lost one game since that 101-61 beatdown, and it came by just 2 points. So that's why they've propelled themselves to one of the elite teams in the region.
Yeah, like I said early on in the broadcast, I think you really just, if you're Rowan or even if you're Brookdale coming into this game, you kind of have to just disregard that game. I think that was an anomaly, a red herring, if you will, as far as their performance is concerned, because they played fairly well tonight. I know Brookdale certainly has the upper hand right now, but totally different game than being down by 15 points around that area for the majority of the evening, at least in the second half, than being down by 40. So 2 different games, 2 different performances.
Lampley, he's had a good night.
He's got some extra minutes, actually. Usually we don't see Denzel come in this long, but he's got some nice minutes, and he's making it count. He's got some nice baskets.
Like you said, maybe some extra motivation for him as a nice spin by Havelo. Great move to the basket. 71-59. Moore able to get rid of it. LaRocca swings it. Olakani drives baseline. Blocking foul. As going down was Roland.
And Jameek Moore is down again. And that time, he just fell down all on his own trying to get rid of the basketball. So it's the second time now we've seen him have some type of an injury. I don't know if it's the knee re-aggravating himself or something, but almost looks like he's holding his head as if he got poked in the eye or something.
Yeah, Jordan Hernandez has come in, as has Tariq Holmes. Earl Clark is the substitution for Rowan on the Roadrunners side. Chris Martin's group. As Hernandez, it's knocked out of bounds. It'll go the other direction.
Yeah, we talked about Denzel Lampley having some extra minutes tonight. One player that we have not seen very much of the last couple of games has been Jordan Hernandez, actually. One of the players that was kind of a star last year as a freshman. Really haven't seen him play too many minutes the last couple of games.
About halfway through this second half, Havelo fires away. It was for 2, and it slapped over to Hernandez. Now Holmes. Lampley finds an open Olakani. Way off the mark. It's rebounded by Merlin. This was the style of basketball Paul Chizek told us he expected from the Roadrunners. Not much of a transition team, but more of a half-court type of offense. Havelo, another spin, and he's fouled. So for John Havelo, who's making his first appearance of the season in this game tonight, and he goes to the free throw line as Ringo will check in after the first attempt.
That's a third foul, actually, on Olakani. I thought that was on Denzel Lampley, but they're going to call it on Olakani instead.
And one more foul. It'll be double bonus the rest of the way for Rowan. As you see Ringo come in for Lampley.
Yeah, that's one thing that Rowan's done a pretty good job of in the second half. They haven't put Brookdale on the line too much. Only 4 team fouls, so When you're down, you don't want to commit too many fouls and give the other team an opportunity to beat you at the foul line with the clock stopped.
Rims in on the second attempt. 10-point game, and they got a whistle.
I think Coach Chuzak called a timeout there, Brian.
So we'll take a break with him. 9:22 to go tonight. Brookdale's in front by 10.
We'll do a great job this season.
Hello, my name is Shakesha Andrews. I'm from Long Beach, New Jersey. I'm the point guard, and Brookdale is where I started my career and play basketball.
Hi, my name is Katie Malloy. I'm from Ocean Township, New Jersey. I'm the center on the women's basketball team, and Brookdale for me is a stepping stone between high school and college.
Sorry. Hi, my name is Nicolette Cooper. I'm from Middletown, New Jersey, and my position is forward. Brookdale to me is a place to further my education and to meet new people.
My name is Caleb Fletcher. I'm from Freelborough High School. I play the guard position, and Brookdale is a 2-year school to start off my career and my basketball career.
My name is Alexis Espada, and I'm from Matawan, New Jersey. I play the forward and guard position, and Brookdale is important to me because I continue my education and to play basketball here.
My name is Brianna Bowen. I'm from Neptune, New Jersey, and my position is a forward. Brookdale to me is a place for education and to play basketball.
My name is Tariq Holmes. I'm a freshman. I'm a point guard. I'm at Brookdale to further my basketball career.
Brian Goudsword, Tim Kettle-Famo, the rest of our Brookdale TV crew here tonight. Thank you for joining us on this doubleheader of Brookdale basketball. Region 19 style, another doubleheader here on Brookdale TV. It's the Jersey Blues by 10 outside the timeout. And Ringle, and he's fouled. Hit on the arm as he went up for the attempt. Free throws coming. And one thing that's interesting for Ringle, who shot it very well from the free throw line this year, rattles home the first one. And we talked about him being maybe the most consistent player in his performance, but he's actually the only Jersey Blue to start every game this season.
It's a pretty impressive stat. I mean, we talked about being a sophomore, really kind of a standout player last year, along with Jordan Little. You remember him, who was down low. He and Ringo were share minutes sometimes, but certainly someone that Brookdale needs to have down low just because of his size and how agile he is with his feet.
And that's a travel called on Hernandez. Brookdale didn't get a chance to convert on the transition try. I don't know about you, but isn't the name Roadrunners? I just think that's one of the best team names in the region. There was a Roadrunners when I was doing Montclair basketball, of course, with Ramapo, as McPherson comes up short. And Ringle, good defense down low. Another try inside misses, comes back out for Clark. Taken away, and then a foul is called after Hernandez got the steal.
I was waiting for you to do a little veep veep, you know, Roadrunner. If you had that sound effect, you know, you could, you know, use it freely.
73-61. Olakani can't connect, pops back out for Hernandez.
It's a good look, though, for Olakani. Right on top of the paint, uncontested. You got to take that shot when you have it.
An offensive foul. Olakani called for extending the arm. Paul Chizek has a word with the officials after that call. Goes against his team.
That's 4 now, as you said, Brian, on Olakani. So surprised, actually, Coach Chuzak's keeping him in.
McPherson comes up short. It's rebounded by Ringle. Now Holmes, the spin. Olakani into the lane, misses with the right hand. Hernandez offensive rebound. Flip it back out, Olakani. Good was open, gave it up, Ringel, and he scores. He went right up and over Havelo for 2. It's unselfish basketball is good, had a wide open attempt, but gave it up for the easier shot for Ringel. And the Jersey Blues are building the lead back up, it's 14. Havelo along the baseline. Lions, Ringel was there to contest it. Olakani is fouled.
And now that might be the 7th team foul, so that, I think it is going to send Zach to the line.
Meanwhile, for Chris Lyons, he picks up his 5th, so he's one of their best players.
He's gone.
And he's going to be out of the game after this free throw attempt.
Now, you had a trivia question for me. I have a trivia question for you.
All right.
Here it is. How many pairs of shoes do you think Zach Olakani owns?
Well, see, the difference with this one
this is unbelievable.
I don't think we have a finite answer. But
hey, one week it's brand new Under Armour. This week it's Air Jordan. I mean, like, come on. You know, like, how I mean, they're nice shoes, too.
Very often, as we noted in past broadcasts, many different colors that he can
That's right.
sport.
That's right.
But he's going with the plain white ones there with the white uniforms today. So we're going to get I don't know if this is a time. Sometimes I think we call this like a half a timeout.
Well, anytime a player fouls out, there's always like a brief conference. But Rowan's only got 4 players on the floor, and Lyons still has yet to come out of the game. Now he finally goes out, so I'm not sure maybe what the delay was.
Yeah, I was wondering why he didn't leave right away, as he's frustrated. And that puts a big crimp in Rowan's chances at making a run here late.
So the answer to the trivia question, we have no idea.
Exactly.
You have to ask Zach. We have no idea. They're brand new shoes. I mean, that's what I don't understand. Like, it's not like it's like they're used. Like, they look brand new.
So that's our fashion segment of the day.
2 trivia questions. How about that for a telecast? That's not too bad. We got to think of more throughout the week.
Earl Clark, defended by Hernandez, bumps him. Shot clock's down to 6. And Merlin banks it in.
Tell you, Rowan's still hanging around. I know they're down by 12, but they're not out of the woods just yet. Brookdale still got to play good defense and not allow Rowan to get these shots on the perimeter.
Blocking foul as Olakani was on his way to the basket. And going down was McPherson. He needs assistance. So back to the line, Olakani. It's been a good contributor this season, averaging 12 points a game, 74% at the line. Can't take advantage of the 1-and-1. So we remain a 12-point game.
Oof.
And playing the passing lane is Holmes. He's got another steal. And he's got a miss there. The tip-in missed by Hernandez. Here's Clark. Havelo sees Ringel go by, blocking fouls, going down sideways. Was Hernandez.
A lot of fouls here in the second half. I mean, Brookdale's committed plenty of fouls, but we did not see this many from either side in the first half. A lot of fouls, a lot of stoppages, which is good for Rowan because that's what you want. You want to get to the line and try to have opportunities to chip into the lead, but the clock stopped. But they just have not been able to really make good on those opportunities.
Kenny LaRocca is back in. Havelo, second attempt. It's LaRocca. LaRocca moves in, now back out. Hernandez fakes, leans in for a shot. That's rebounded by Merlin. There's McPherson. Havelo gave it up, nearly had it stolen away. McPherson off the rim, no. Merlin, and they call a foul. So you talk about the fouls piling up. Brookdale's already reached the max number with 10, so any fouls resulting in 2 free throws, and this time it'll be Merlin. The foul was on Grant Good, his second. So the sophomore out of Blackwood, New Jersey, swishes home the first one. Good sign to see Jameek Moore back in. He's had to leave this game on 2 different occasions with that knee giving him some trouble. But not serious enough to keep him on the sidelines. And a timeout taken by the Roadrunners. We're down to 5:13 to go here tonight. Brookdale 75, Rowan 66. We'll be back.
I recruited this man. He's like a stepson to me. Just like, he's not really. He don't give me any money.
Hey, get out of here. Get out of here.
Brookdale, Jersey Blue.
You gotta put him in it.
Hi, my name is Zachary Lucani.
5:13 to go here tonight. Brookdale basketball on Brookdale TV. And it's brought to you by Joyce's Subs and Pizza, located at 655 Newman Springs Road in Lincroft, online at joycesubsandpizza.com. So, we said maybe you order your pizza after the game is over, but maybe you're having your pizza while you're watching us here on Brookdale TV.
Possibly. A little late, but possibly. You never know.
9-point game.
Oof. Dangerous.
LaRocca had to leap for it. Good, swings it back out. LaRocca open, in and out for 3. And you're right when you say that Rowan has hung around in this game. It's never reached the point where it's completely out of reach.
Yeah, Rowan really just needs 1 or 2 baskets to get themselves within striking distance. And like that possession, they just have come so close. They're just not able to convert.
Now Moore. Ringel whips it inside for good. Tipped in off the glass. It's LaRocca. Four minutes left now. Clark inside the arc. It's short. He's got it back. He finds Havelo, and it's out of bounds over to Brookdale. Jersey Blues, after tonight, they got a 2-game road swing. They'll go visit Bunker Hill, which is up in Massachusetts. Pretty good team, but out of conference. And then they'll go to UConn Avery Point, an opponent that they saw last year. Next home game 1 week from tonight here at the Collins Arena against Atlantic Cape as Moore turns it over.
Yeah, 2 tough games on the road, so schedule does not get any easier. And one thing when you have a perfect season going, there's always more pressure on you the more games that you win, because you want to complete the perfect season. You want to have a perfect season, and sometimes that pressure allows you to crack. So we haven't seen this team crack yet this year, but the longer you go with that streak, the harder it is to keep up.
Havelo misses on the second try. Brookdale can just about ice it, but they turn it over. Bad pass from Holmes. Clark nearly mishandled. And it's loose all over the place. LaRocca for Moore. Brookdale the other way. It's 3-on-1. It'll be Ringel. Blocking foul. Basket is good.
And that was close to being an offensive foul there on Ringles. I think that officials gave Ringle the lucky call there, because Ringle was just a tad bit out of control going in there, and there was good position there by the defender. That was McPherson with the third personal, but still.
And Ringle converts from the line. Rowan comes in for Rowan. He replaces Havelo. A slew of changes for the Roadrunners. Clark and Clark comes out as well. Under 3 minutes to go now. It's 80-66. If Rowan has a rally in them, it'll have to begin very soon. Rowan
traveling.
Drew a crowd and traveled. And Paul Chizek is going to bring his group together for another timeout with 2:35 left. Brookdale in front by 14 points. We'll be right back here on Brookdale TV.
I'm from Teaneck, New Jersey. I play the guard, and Brookdale for me is a home where I could play basketball and get a good education to better myself.
My name is Fres Cabrera. I'm from Perth Amboy, New Jersey. Buckets near you. They call me Mr. Jelly. My position is shooting guard, and what has Brookdale did for you has been bettering my education and furthering my knowledge.
My name is Jameek Moore from Hackensack, New Jersey. I'm the point guard for Brookdale, and I'm here to further my education in criminal justice. I'm proud to be a Jersey Blue.
My name is Grant Good from Matawan, New Jersey. I'm a guard, and Brookdale's going to take me to my next basketball school.
I'm Kyle Bradshaw. I'm a guard from Tinton Falls, New Jersey, and Brookdale is the first step to what I want to do in life.
My name is Matt Ringle. I'm from Marlboro, New Jersey. I play forward, and what Brookdale means to me, it gives you another opportunity to decide what you want to do with your life.
How y'all doing? I'm Makai Morgan from Piscataway, New Jersey. P-Way, you know. I'm a
Well, we came to you here in the booth, but we're getting set for action back on the floor. And we got 2:35 left to go tonight, with the Jersey Blues looking to wrap up what would be their 18th consecutive victory, start the season. And of course, they're just a few years removed from going 30-1, so it seems like every year is a dominant regular season for this Jersey Blue program. Stolen away.
That's a walk.
It is indeed a walk called on Havelo.
Yeah, Rowan's had nice drives inside, and they've gotten opportunities, but they've either turned it over with drives like that where they just are not in control, or they're just not able to convert underneath the basket. So they've had opportunities. They just have not been able to capitalize on them. So when Coach Martin goes back and looks at this game, I think he's going to see a lot of missed opportunities that possibly could have made this game a lot closer than it is now.
Shot clock's down to 5. Good drives in. Another blocking foul. This time it's Ruggiano. It's a lot of offensive fouls in the first half, a lot of blocking fouls in the second half. Each team has committed 10. It's been a bit of a foul fest. Good shoots it at 72% from the stripe. They'll likely will be held under their season average in scoring this year. They come in averaging a shade under 100 points a game. They're at 81 tonight, but that's enough for a 15-point lead against the Roadrunners. It's a nice move by Havelo. He gets the roll and a timeout. But this has been another pretty complete effort, I think, any way you slice it, from the Jersey Blues.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, it hasn't been their best night. I mean, they certainly have had better nights as far as shooting is concerned, but They played really well. I mean, the defense has played well. Rowan has had multiple opportunities to get back in this game, and they haven't allowed them to get in. So they played good defense. It's just they haven't had necessarily the greatest night as far as shooting is concerned, but not every single night that you come out on the floor, you're going to shoot the lights out. The important thing is how you play and how you finish, and if you get the W in the end. And Brookdale's less than 90 seconds away from doing that. So it's not been the prettiest game, but they played well.
And if you missed it earlier because you weren't with us, Brookdale was named just today as the #1 overall team in the nation. First time they've been in that spot since February 2014. A little less than 4 years ago. This program continues to play basketball at an extremely high level. And even in a matchup with another team that's capable of competing in the region, team that came in at 19-3, but barring a significant rally, they'll fall for the second time against the Jersey Blues this season. Foul called. LaRocca was handling. It's on McPherson. LaRocca will go to the line. He's done a nice job as a freshman. Gotten some starts. He's done both roles, start and come off the bench. He contributes offensively.
Yeah, he's done a nice job. One of the things that LaRocca needs to do more is he's had open looks at the basket. He hasn't always taken those shots, and that's something that Coach Chizak and some of the other players sometimes during the middle of a play will scream out to him from the sidelines. Take that shot when you have it. So, as I said earlier, sometimes you can be a little bit too unselfish with the basketball. LaRocca's had some good looks, but hasn't always taken the shot when he's the open man.
Three-pointer goes. It's McPherson. One-minute mark. Brookdale just holding the basketball up by 12.
Ooh.
Content to just take as much time off the clock as possible. And that's what they do.
They really don't even have to shoot here, Brian. You just let the shot clock expire.
LaRocca will fire and hit for three. It's the icing on the cake tonight. The spin by Rowan, Havilow fouled.
Yeah, see, that's unfortunately when you're up by 15, you don't even have to really defend. I mean, that's in my mind where, while this team has played well, they've had areas that you don't necessarily have to commit a foul in a situation like that. They've had areas where they have struggled, and that's an area. You're up by 15, and we've seen this in other games where Brookdale's been up by 20, 25 points, still committing fouls on the floor. Let the guy go. You know, let him get the 2 points. You have a 15, 13-point lead. Don't allow to put the player at the line with the clock stopped to make 2 free throws. It extends the game, and you get more fouls credited to your name.
You know, not only does Brookdale have this undefeated run on the season going, but remember that they haven't lost a game here at the Collins Arena since 2016. It's been almost 2 years since the Jersey Blues have been beaten in this arena. As Moore works around the basket, shot clock will expire before the game clock does, so Moore will just put it up for good measure and splash.
Wow. Hold on. It's not over yet.
Yeah, I mean, the game clock and shot clock were not in sync, so I think they're going to add another second, as the PA announcement says. We got 0.1 on the clock. So they'll try to get a 14-point shot here with 0.1 left. Let's see if they can do it. Brookdale pretty much came off the court. This is really something.
Officials got to call it to the very end. So, and you're right. There was I think they're trying to add a second. Actually, they're going to add 0.2. So,
all right. So 0.2.
Yeah, that's it.
And that's that. Well, it took about a couple seconds before it started there, but that does it. The Jersey Blues are 18-0 for the season. The crowd on hand here to see yet another victory. Jersey Blues go to 15-0 for the record in the conference. Rowan's 3-game winning streak is snapped, and they get swept in the season series against the Jersey Blues. They're now 19-4, and Brookdale, just named #1 today in the country, will keep that mark as they keep up their winning ways. And we'll get set to welcome you back inside our booth. Brian Goudsworth, Tim Catalfamo, and let's talk about something that we haven't really talked much about, but if there is one area of concern for this Brookdale team, because I mean, it's so easy to talk about their accomplishments as we have when you're undefeated, but going forward, as they start to face some of the more stiff competition and they get into presumably the national tournament, what is, if any, one area of concern you might have?
Well, I think one area of concern is sometimes they don't get back to the basics of basketball. There have been times this year where they've had big leads and they've allowed teams to get closer and closer and cut into those leads, but just not playing defense. And that was one thing that Coach Chisek actually talked about pre-game with us in the last game against Passaic, where they blew Passaic out by 30 points. They were down by 2 at halftime. And the reason for that is because, according to Coach Chisek, they didn't play defense well enough. They just didn't stick to the basics. So if there's one thing with this team, it's probably that they sometimes don't always play a full 40 minutes, but it really hasn't hurt them so much this year. So, if that's one, if you're looking for one possible criticism, that's probably one thing I could say. But this team as a whole is really just incredible. And at this point, with the exception of maybe these 2 trips that they're going on the road against Bunker Hill and a couple of other teams before they come back here at home, I don't see this team being stopped anytime soon.
So our next broadcast here on Brookdale TV, it'll be 1 week from tonight as the Jersey Blues will welcome in Atlantic Cape. They're victorious again tonight, 89-72. Once again, the final score. For Tim Catalfamo, I'm Brian Goudsworth. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you next week.